How's it going? My name is Nick, and I just want to say first, I appreciate you. Thank you for subscribing to Roll Coverage. It really helps us out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. Otherwise, just sit back and get ready. It's time to roll coverage.
The Carolina Panthers have announced a future Bank of America Stadium. There are so many details that it's not short enough to put in a YouTube short. So let's do the full breakdown right now.
Hey, I thought it was all over.
Nope. They roll coverage.
They say home is where the heart is. For almost 30 years, you've helped make Uptown Charlotte our home. It's much more than a stadium. It's the lair
Oh, yeah, get those Bryce Young footage in there. Let's go.
where we keep pounding.
Young looking for Thielen. He's pulled down. What a catch.
And a fortress fit for the crown.
Charlotte FC is the bread and butter right now of Charlotte. I love what they're doing. I'm super excited for the future, and hopefully you are too.
It's the song you can't
Oh, this is the concert thing. You, David Tepper.
get out of your head. And the game you just had to be there for.
Carolina Panthers, champions of the NFC.
It's where we create the moments we'll never forget and experience the traditions worth coming back for. This stadium is our home, and we are excited to show you the vision for what's next. This is the future.
Okay, I like it. Looks like we got some seating on the outside. You can kind of get it in down here. Obviously, there's a new entrance over here. And then obviously we see a full stadium for the first time in a long time, so I'm happy.
Future of Bank of America Stadium. A modernized fan experience featuring
Really sick entrance. I like the tiered system where you can kind of see people on the outside. I like that.
a reimagined exterior with a park-like setting, inviting new spaces for the community to gather and celebrate sports, music, and the arts. New state-of-the-art audio and video technology designed to keep fans informed, entertained, and engaged like never before. Unique social spaces with stunning views of the action and the beautiful Charlotte skyline.
Hell yes. I would love to be actually up there during a game. I think that would be super sick. Hopefully those are cheap tickets, but I bet you they're a fortune. That's going to be like a VIP section.
Brand new seats and redesigned concourses with diverse concession options that celebrate flavors across the Carolinas. It's a destination that draws marquee events to Uptown, attracting visitors from near and far. Not just on game day, but every day. Welcome to the crown jewel of the Queen City.
Hey, shout out the video. Catchy video. But there's some concerns I have, one of which is how we're going to pay for it. So with that, we're going to jump over to an article where we're going to kind of break it down. I'm going to go line by line. We're going to really understand what's going on. I want you guys to understand how the stadium's going to be built, what their intentions are, long-term goals, and other stuff like that. So sit back. Let's actually break this down. So we're going to bring it right on over here. I got this from Axios Charlotte. I'll make sure that there's a link in the description for you to follow along. So this is written by Miss Ashley Mahoney, Fresh Renderings, Bank of America Stadium's $800 million makeover. Again, we saw the outside of it. It looks like this is going to be the North Gate, rendering courtesy of Tepper Sports and Entertainment. Now, obviously, I love the entrance of this. I think this looks amazing. I think it could be great to have, like, Bryce Young, 3,500 passing yards, all that other stuff. Have the really cool stuff out there, or show highlights to people. Or, hey, we go to a Super Bowl. Put the game on that and let people watch it from outside. Like, eventually there's going to be enough people, hopefully, that you can't even fit them in the stadium. They got to stand outside. They got to do all that other stuff. So I would like to see that. Okay. Bank of America Stadium could soon have an $800 million new look. Ooh, that's quite a bit, but not a billion, so I'm happy about that. Why it matters, the nearly 30-year-old Uptown Stadium, home of the Carolina Panthers and Charlotte FC, is one of the oldest in the NFL. A proposed renovation plan released Monday would ensure that franchises stay there for at least 20 more years, but it would almost certainly rankle residents who don't want to use taxpayer money for pro sports teams. So I'm personally one of those people. I don't think we should really be utilizing... we should be utilizing public money, because if that's the case, then the public should have access and all that other stuff. There should be discounted tickets that don't go through services like Ticketmaster and all that other stuff to get price gouged. Like there's some other stuff that I feel that this is going to be a problem for a lot of people, especially with the way that Tepper has treated the community, players, coaches, and all that other stuff. He's a billionaire, but he still needs to be a good person, and so far he hasn't really shown that. By the numbers, as part of the $800 million overhaul, Tepper Sports and Entertainment is asking for $650 million in taxpayer money. So he's asking for the majority of that money. And I'm not even going to try, I can't do the math on this, even with a calculator, but that's the overwhelming majority of that. The overwhelming. And I don't love that, especially coming from a billionaire, from somebody who talks about like how great he is business-wise and all that other stuff. To ask for the city to pay for the overwhelming majority of something that you will solely benefit from that asset, I feel like is wrong. So still, I'm going to maintain my main one, you, David Tepper. It would come from the city's hospitality and tourism tax, which legally can be used on projects that generate tourism dollars. I mean, if the team is where it's currently at, which, here's the big kicker here.
This man right here just highlighted the insane double standard that the NFL has when it comes to their owners. This is Carolina Panthers owner David Tepper, and he is quickly becoming one of the worst owners in the history of professional sports, let alone the history of the NFL.
Yeah, I don't see this being a good thing. We were the worst team, and we've been the worst team in the NFL since Tepper took over. So that's assuming that people want to come see us so we can generate tourism dollars. Tepper would only invest $150 million. So again, I hate that. This is why I wanted to do the breakdown, to actually give you guys the information of what's really coming out about this stuff and not just letting Tepper just tell everybody these flowery words. Zooming in, the proposed deal would include a 20-year non-relocation agreement between the city and Tepper Sports Entertainment. The team plans to invest in an additional $421 million over the life of the deal. Oh, well, that was actually one that I am not. So 421 divided by 20 years. So he's going to invest $21 million every year, and you want them to do $650 million. So you want them to invest more money than you will invest over 20 years. So yeah, I hate that. Still, same thing I said before, David Tepper. Stadium upgrades call for a new seating in the bowl, a South Lawn pavilion that can serve as a gathering spot and outdoor classroom. That sounds pretty awesome. Upgraded video and audio systems, including a scoreboard and a video board. Again, awesome. Super excited about most of these. Exterior stadium improvements, upgraded bathrooms, improved accessibility and redesigned concourses, safety and security upgrades like better lighting, modernized infrastructure, including plumbing, electrical, and HVAC systems. Context: Tepper, whose net worth according to Forbes is $20.6 billion, which is why I don't like that he's asking the city to pay for this since he cares so much, bought the Panthers for $2.275 billion, a record fee at the time. He paid a record $325 million expansion fee to bring the Major League Soccer to Charlotte and funded $50 million in stadium renovations ahead of Charlotte FC's inaugural season in 2022. The stadium also hosts significantly more events now, including soccer games beyond MLS and concerts, which was his big thing that he keeps talking about. Oh, I'm selling concerts. I brought Beyonce. I brought this, whatever. We have to modernize the facility to meet its current needs, Charlotte City Council member Malcolm Graham tells Axios. The Panthers are also redeveloping the team's practice facilities next to the stadium, which Charlotte City Council is expected to vote on June 17th. The team announced this past December it would move its training camp to Uptown rather than Wofford in Spartanburg, South Carolina, where it had been held since 1995. But again, that kind of doesn't make sense, because if you remember this clip, then how are you supposed to unite South Carolina and North Carolina into one Carolina if you are taking things away from South Carolina and only giving it to North Carolina? It just seems weird, okay? Maybe it's just me. Friction points. In 2022, Tepper Sports Entertainment opted not to move forward with a plan for Charlotte FC to have a presence in Eastland Yards, instead of establishing its headquarters elsewhere in East Charlotte in order to get the team settled into a permanent home. TSE, again, Tepper Sports Entertainment, I'll just start using TSE now, abruptly terminated a deal to move the Panthers' headquarters to Rock Hill, South Carolina, mid-construction in 2022, leading to months of legal action. On top of that, the Panthers haven't had a winning season under Tepper Sports Entertainment or made the playoffs, and fans are having a hard time finding joy in the team. What to look out for next? A vote from Charlotte City Council on the stadium is expected on June 24th, so we'll make sure to check back out on that. Construction would begin in 2025, and it's intended to be complete by 2029. Neither the Panthers nor Charlotte FC will have to relocate during the construction, which is a great thing. What they're saying, this renovation is about modernizing the stadium to deliver elevated experiences while preserving the overall character and location that fans have known and loved for decades. Panthers president Christy Coleman said in a statement, which shout out to her. She follows me on LinkedIn now, so that's pretty cool. That was just a little thing for me. Yay. What we're watching, taxpayer-funded stadium plans spark passionate debates, especially for struggling teams. That was the case in 2013 when former owner Jerry Richardson asked for and ultimately received $87.5 million in funding from the city for upgrades to the Bank of America Stadium. Most recently, over in Tennessee, Nashville's Metro Council spent more than a year considering a new dome $2.1 billion Titan Stadium in 2022 and 2023. Council members there approved using $760 million in local taxpayer funds coming from a 1% tax or hotel tax and plus sales tax collected in a new surrounding development. The state of Tennessee kicked in $500 million in bonds, and the Titans are on the hook for $840 million. I mean, the tax, I guess, helps the situation a little bit. They kick in, the state only really had to kick in $500 million. They're just giving them, I guess, tax revenue. So that's, I guess, it's still a loss. You're still giving, $1.26 million or $26 billion. And the Titans are still only paying $840. So I still don't love that, but it's still better than what Tepper's doing. Behind the lines, though, Charlotte is also renovating the Spectrum Center, home of the Charlotte Hornets, with a total of $275 million committed to arena upgrades and a new standalone practice facility for the team. Jeesh. But the Hornets, like the Panthers, haven't sniffed the playoffs in years. Charlotte is in the midst of a rebuilding era for two of its three major league teams and in every sense of the expression. And then here's a look at the renderings. Obviously, we watched the video, so we were able to see them, but these ones are still shots. I like this little, it looks like there's going to be something kind of over here. I like that it's going to kind of help people flesh out and not be so crowded. So maybe there won't be as many issues that people have had. I love this. I love the idea of being up there on that top. This looks like the southern lawn. I think it'd be super cool. Panthers dogging the Falcons after our last little back and forth. That's funny. Again, I love the idea of local people being able to bring in stuff. Hopefully Tepper keeps the rent at a place where people are actually able to come in and bring in local stuff and we're not just stuck with the same generic food. I would love to have Carolina be like, number one in food or top 5 in food, because we do have great food in Carolina. Again, I love the Big Bryce thing right there. I love the team store. I love this, but the floor looks like concrete, so it's probably going to be a little cold in there. I like the exposed stuff on the top. There's really no reason to put stuff up there. Team store, obviously. And it looks like that is it. So, those are my thoughts. I don't think that Tepper is really deserved of this. I do think the Carolina Panthers, the city of Charlotte, and so many more are deserved of this, but I feel like the burden should be flipped. I feel like if you were to go back to what we talked about with with what David Tepper would have to put in versus what the city would have to put in, if you flip that, I'm totally fine with it. Get the deal done. But the city of Charlotte should not have to pay for an asset that one day David Tepper will reap its sole gains from, because he's not going to keep the team forever. He's eventually going to sell it, or he's going to die or something like that. So I just don't love it. He's a 20 billionaire, so he needs to pay his own way. We're not just going to give it away to a dude that's proved nothing, that's thrown ice on people and taken hats off of others. Like, He's got to prove a lot more. David Tepper is the reason why we're in this situation. But without talking about the football side, the stadium, just flip that funding, and I'm okay with it. The way it currently sets, it'll probably go through just because the city could really use it. But I feel like more pressure should be put on Tepper to pay more. But if you want to learn more about the Panthers, other teams, or just kind of come on here and see me go back and forth with some of my Panthers faithful, make sure you check us out. My name is Nick. This has been Roll Coverage. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of the day. Peace.